Guys, we are here with Austin Peay head coach Scotty Walden. What were the keys for you to building a winning culture at Austin Peay?
Yeah, 100%. Number one, we have to identify ourselves as a winner, and we want to build a consistent winner, and we have to come in there and we have to, make sure that, making moves like this to the ASUN, I think, say a lot about our administration, say a lot about our program, that we want to build that consistent winner and that tradition. We say all the time at Austin Peay, we're not trying to build a team, we're trying to build a program. Program's long lasting, something that, hey, over the course of time can be good. And if you look at the history of Austin Peay, there was spurts of being good and then a drought of being really bad, and then some spurts recently, of being very successful. And I'm very proud, we got hired in November of 2020 and went through the spring season and the fall season, first back-to-back winning season since the 1980s. So I think we're well on our way to building that consistent winner, but making moves like this to the ASUN, to where you're playing against elite competition week in, week out. I was just talking to somebody about it, about how, the only way that you're going to grow and get better is by being surrounded by, really good coaches, really good programs, and going out and beating those teams. And that's the only way you grow. And so we're in the midst of, and it's a really fun time. Like, it's exciting for me because I love building a program and just kind of ushering in a new era, if you will, of us going to a new conference, the inaugural season of the ASUN. So all those things combined is what we're doing to try to build this thing into a consistent winner year in, year out.
What was the biggest challenges for you and your staff coming in new, then COVID hits, the spring season happens? There was a lot of uncertainty for you. How did you guys handle that, and what were some of the biggest challenges?
I'm really proud of our staff, man. We came in November 2020. I got hired November 1. I had to, we had to hire staff, had to recruit. And then we played our first game February 20th. So, we did the best we could. I'll say this: I thought we did in-home visits via Zoom, because those kids couldn't come visit, and I think we really did a great job of hitting on some key football players, getting to know them, getting to know their families, even when we couldn't meet them in person. And in our first class, I call that our foundational class. Those guys, you're going to see a lot of those names start to rise up. And DeAndre McCray was one of those who, was just named to the All-Conference team. Had nearly 1,000 yards last year receiving. So I was really proud of the adaptation we did in recruiting. And then, man, we just I give the analogy all the time. We don't want toe dippers in our program. There's two guys when they go to the swimming pool, man, like they take their towel off and they kind of feel the water. Is it cold? Is it hot? Then there's another person who takes the towel off and he just jumps in. I told our program that's what we're going to be. We're just going to jump in and go. And I'm really proud of the buy-in from our players and our coaching staff during that COVID time. It was a trying time for everybody. And I'll never forget, we played Murray State. We lost 3 starters at the pregame meal. We went through all sorts of stuff, and just like everybody else did. But I'm really proud of the resiliency of our program and just the will to say, hey, everyone's affected by this. Let's take it in stride and let's continue to move forward and go attack it. And that's the definition of chase the line in our program, is we're going to go attack things. And so I'm proud of our staff.
And how are you and your staff going to? The transfer portal's become a huge deal for teams to manage, especially roster management. How do you and your staff plan to recruit out of the transfer portal, but also not lose those relationships on the high school recruiting trail?
It's a phenomenal question, and it goes back to adaptation. You have to adapt to the new, the new rules, and it's going to be a yearly process. But I'm old school, man, at heart. We're going to recruit high school football players from winning programs. That's always going to be the foundation, because I don't believe that you can build a culture, when you have an influx of guys from this school, that school, this school. Now, not to say that I'm anti-transfer portal, because I'm not at all. I truly believe in it. I think you have to utilize it. It's there. You have to utilize it, because, the coolest part about it is you can get back, and I know at FCS we have 63 to spread to 85, right? The number we want to work off is 85. We want to play with the 85 quality scholarship players, and now more than ever, we can get those, guys at any time of year. Heck, we did an official visit, as early as 2 weeks ago, and so we can get that. But to answer your question, we're going to be number one high school football players from our region, because I believe that those are the people you win with, that build your culture. And then when we have holes we need to fill, we're going to get in the portal and we're going to bring those guys in. I think we were 26 and 20 this year. I think we brought in 26 freshmen and 20 transfers, into our program. And so, we're going to be pretty balanced with that approach depending on what our needs become. But we're always going to start with the foundation, and that's building it the right way with high culture guys, winning programs, and then going out to other great programs and identifying. I think the key is you have to when you go in the portal, we are very extensive and thorough with the people that we recruit out of the portal, and doing our research, and then I think that combination there, the answer is balance, rather than being too lopsided one way or the other.
Well, one of the biggest storylines around the program, QB Draylen Ellis enters the transfer portal. You guys are going to have a new starting quarterback. What are you looking for, and what has that QB battle been like for your program this offseason?
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's standards in our program that we're not going to waver from, no matter if it's a starting quarterback or wherever. And unfortunately, some things have to happen. But I think that our quarterback room is resilient, and they are hungry. There's about 8 guys in that room, including from walk-ons and scholarship guys in that room that are battling it out. And Sheldon Lehman started 2 games for us last season, and did a fantastic job. In his 2 starts, and I think he's only getting better. He's done a great job. Bryce Robinson, a local product from Clarksville Academy, and then Neelan Jean, who was a young man we signed out of Baylor High School there in Chattanooga. Those 3 guys really, and we brought in a transfer named Mike DeLella from Middle Tennessee. Those guys, he got here in the summer with us. Skylar Locklear, a young man we signed out of Cleveland High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. Those guys are competing, and I'm really thrilled. Our system's pretty easy to pick up. It's very quarterback dependent, but I feel, especially with the new OTA rule in the summer, being able to work with these guys on the field, I feel like they've done a great job picking it up. But the funnest part about a quarterback battle to me is you get to come in every day and nobody is complacent because they're trying to be the guy, and so that's fun for me to get to watch that as a coach. But we're gonna throw those pads on in the fall, let those guys go compete and see how it all shakes out from there. But I think we have a quality batch of guys to pick from to lead our program.
And the final question, Coach, you've seen this team throughout spring practices, summer workouts. Who are some guys that we might not know as the media that we should watch out for as breakout guys for your team?
Yeah, I think 2 of them are here today. Trey Goodman, a wide receiver from Norcross High School in Georgia, has just really stepped up. He caught a big time pass against Ole Miss for us on a critical first down late in the game, and he caught a touchdown pass against Morehead State, and has had some key, couple key grabs last year in his redshirt freshman year. And then Cam Ruffin, who was a transfer from Ole Miss when I inherited the program, he was here, and I think, man, he has flashed and he's becoming a staple in our defense and as a leader. I've really been impressed with his growth and maturity. And then other guys that have really stepped up that I'm really proud and excited about are guys like Sam Howard at linebacker. Sam was a walk-on when we got here, and we've put him on scholarship since then. And he is just, and it's not because we gave it to him, because that dude earned it, and he's really proven himself day in, day out. A guy named Josh Rudolph, nearly a 4-star recruit out of Montgomery, Alabama, has really come on at linebacker for us, and I'm excited to see his growth. And then there's a young man on the offensive side, Josh DeCambry, a wide receiver. He came in redshirted for us last year, was a transfer from Wagner, had 250 yards receiving against Florida Atlantic a couple years ago when they had a stellar defense. We went against when I was at Southern Miss, and we couldn't get off press coverage. And this kid, I was watching this film, he was dominating, and we were like, man, let's take this kid. And I think he's poised to have a big season. And then I'm really excited, not to get too long-winded with the names individually, but there is a number of offensive linemen that we have recruited that are going to be big-time contributors up front. Our offensive line average last year, so you know this, we averaged 274 pounds in that offensive line last year. Okay, really light. Now, through recruiting, Coach Ryan Stanczyk, our O-line coach, done an amazing job recruiting. We now average 300 pounds in there. So we flipped it about 25, 26 pounds in a calendar year. So I'm really excited about that. And then you saw a guy named Chuck Manning who made, from the D-line standpoint, I think those are the 2 areas we needed to get better at, O-line and D-line, and we flipped those 2 positions. And you saw Chuck Manning get on the all-conference board. He's a great player from North Carolina Central that I think he's going to be a big-time player for us as well.
Coach, I appreciate it, guys. Make sure to tune in some Austin Peay football this year. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned for more ASUN Media Day coverage.